What's up, guys? It's Will from RevolutionaryLifestyleDesign.com coming to you today to talk about how to stop thinking like a loser and start thinking like a winner. This is something that's super important for not only your personal development goals, but for your quality of life. If you want to be able to enjoy the world around you and the one life that you have to be able to think about yourself as a person who deserves good things. You have to be able to talk to yourself positively. Um, and you have to have positive self-esteem. If you don't, it's almost impossible to enjoy your life. And despite what a lot of people will tell you, there are only two kinds of people in the world. There are winners and losers, positive people and negative people. The majority of the world are losers, and their jobs and the way they dress and their posture, all of that reflects the mentality inside that they have um, in terms of low self-esteem. And that's natural, okay? Losing is natural. There, there's there can only be so many winners, and the nature of the game is that for one person to lose, many people have to, or one person to win, a lot of people have to lose. Like for one guy to become Brad Pitt, there's a million failed actors out in Hollywood. Um, but despite all that, it's the only way to go because at the end of the day, you're in the world. You got no choice about that. You can't sit on the sidelines. You're in the game, and what other choice do you have but to play to win? To accept losing doesn't make any sense to me. Um, and if you're serious about personal development and self-help and making yourself better, the first thing you need to do is stop thinking like a loser and stop doing these, um, you know, loser actions that I'm going to break down for you. So number one, stop thinking you're a loser. This is the most important thing on the list, and everything starts in your mind. You could be a long way from your first win. You could have been bullied as a kid. You could have had your dad telling you that you're a fucking loser your whole life. Um, but none of that matters because all of that you can change this instant. You can stop that today. It's all a question of, are you going to do it, or are you going to accept your station as a loser in the world? Because you can't win accidentally. Michael Jordan didn't become the best basketball player accidentally. And no one who has any success in the world, it doesn't happen by accident. The first step is always you have to think of yourself as a winner, and you have to think of yourself as deserving to win, and you have to think that there can be winning in your future. Now, this is not magical thinking. This is not going to get you to that win, but it is the necessary first step in making it happen. Okay? And you can be at the worst place in the world, but you make that simple switch and that changes everything because you're in the game. You're in the game of life, and you can't sit on the sidelines, right? You want the girls, you want the money, you want a piece of happiness, and you want to live somewhere nice. You have to play for that, and for all that to happen, you need to get your mind right to where you're thinking that you deserve that and that you can achieve that. Okay? Number two, stop setting garbage goals, okay? That's what I call them. Um, there's a reason I designed my site the way it is, a red pill site, because I just want to give you guys the truth. The truth is you're not going to be a billionaire, not even close, okay? None of you watching this video are going to be a billionaire. I guarantee you that. Despite what all these motivational websites tell you, and you can read successful quotes about successful guys all the time, it doesn't mean shit, okay? The guy who's going to be a billionaire has an IQ of 160. He works 14-hour days, and he's already a multimillionaire by his mid-20s. Okay, the The Mark Zuckerbergs of the world are in a totally different reality, and they're not going to be watching this video right now because they're going to be working 14 hours a day. They don't need to read motivational websites all the time because they are living it. They're already dedicated. They're already brilliant, and that is just not in the cards for you. Okay, the way to do it and the way to set proper goals is set goals that are challenging but that are also attainable. So when I hear about guys talking about they're going to be a billionaire and all they do is talk about that, I know that this guy's a loser and he's not going anywhere. A winner's going to set a goal like, I'm going to start a service-based business, okay? Because service-based business is the easiest way to make money in business. You become an insurance agent, or you become a real estate agent, or you shovel fucking driveways. It has the lowest failure rate, whereas the average business has something like a 90% failure rate. That's the fastest way to start making money. All you need is a telephone and an internet connection. And instead of having goals of being a billionaire, your goal is year one, I'm going to do 40K, year two, I'm going to do 65K, and year three, I'm going to break six figures. Okay? Break six figures, you're ahead of 99% of people in the world. More. 99.9% of the people in the world. Okay? And you're doing it on your own, in your own business. And this is something that anyone can do. Whether you're 22, 23, you don't need a billionaire's IQ. And those are realistic winners' goals. Okay? You've got a measure of what you're capable of. Okay, I'm 33, I'm 5'10". I will never ever play in the NBA. Never. You could put a gun to my head and I would die because I will never make the NBA. Not possible. But I can build an excellent personal development website. I knew this because I'm a good writer. I can speak eloquently. I'm persuasive, I'm a good salesman, and I have expertise in health, wealth, relationships that 99% of guys don't have. And I've got stuff to write on this and videos to do for years. I know this is an area that I can excel, and I've put close to 4 years into it already, because these are realistic goals, and the goals are paying for themselves right now. I'm living off 2 ebooks out here in beautiful Thailand. I wake up every morning to income, to passive income, because I set goals that I could attain. Okay. Another loser thing to do is it's not just setting garbage goals, but it's setting unproductive goals. Okay, running a marathon, learning a language, learning how to cook French food. This is fucking garbage, guys. Okay, that stuff is something rich men can do. Okay, if you're poor and you're a wage slave and you're living in a shitty apartment and you're living paycheck to paycheck, you don't have time for that shit, guys. Okay, you got to get out and get your business together, and you got to work 13, 14-hour days, and you got to get money coming in. Okay, otherwise you're going to be working for some asshole the rest of your life, and you're going to hate it. And even with these bullshit goals, no one finishes them. Okay, these guys quit because they can't stay motivated. They can't stay motivated because they're not dedicated, and they're not dedicated because those goals don't solve a real pain point. Okay, not being able to speak a foreign language is not painful. Not being able to run a marathon is not painful. However, working 50 hours a week as a broke wage slave, that's painful. Not being able to get women, that's painful. Looking in the mirror and seeing a fat, sloppy, out of shape guy, that's painful. Okay, those are worthwhile goals. Health, wealth, relationships. Set 3 goals for yourself every year. Okay, that's all I do. I have an income goal, I have a fitness goal, and I have a relationship goal. And that might not sound like a lot to you, but if you set real goals and you approach them like there's a gun to your head, that is plenty. Okay, that is more than enough. You will be challenged just to hit them, and that's the right kind of challenge. Okay, the right kind of challenge is saying, I'm going to add $20,000 to my income this year. The right kind of challenge is saying, I'm going to have sex with 15 new girls this year. The right kind of challenge is saying, I'm going to add 20 pounds of lean mass to my body through working out. Okay? Those are the kind of goals you need to set. Number 3, stop hating. Don't hate, congratulate. Okay? Some guy's doing better than you. You need to find out what he's doing and model him. Befriend him if you can. You probably won't be able to if he's a high-level guy. But read about him. If he's got a website, read everything on his website. And instead of thinking, fuck this guy, he's a douchebag, think, how can I become like this guy? What did he do to get there? What are the steps to success that he took? Okay, talking shit about someone is such a gross loser trait. Or he's got a website, posting negative comments about him is the height of loser behavior. Leave the hate reading to the feminists and the beta males. I don't get a ton of hate on this site, but when I do, I know 100% with 100% certainty that that guy or that girl does not have anything going on in their life. A LeBron James or a George Clooney or any guy like that or aiming to be like that, they don't even read stuff that they're not interested in, let alone taking the time to sign up for the site and post a comment. I've never done anything like that in my life. It's a colossal waste of time. If I see something I don't like, I just close the window immediately. The idea of reading through a whole article that you hate and then commenting on it is ridiculous to me. Okay? Even worse is, like, you look at any popular YouTube video, it's only a matter of time before the comments degenerate into hateful, racist, name-calling, and commenting back and forth from one guy to the other. It is amazing that people choose to spend their one life doing that bullshit. I mean, you cannot find a better way to identify a loser than someone who posts negative comments. Guys even post negative comments on BitTorrent. Someone takes the time and the risk to post a free video illegally, and you got 10 guys saying that the video is shit or the audio quality wasn't perfect. This is fucking mind-boggling to me, guys. So stop hating. It's ridiculous. Number 4 is sort of the flip side to that coin, and it's stop worshiping guys. So worshiping guys is better than hating them, but it's still not what you want to do. So let's say you find a guy who's inspiring you and you want to use him as a role model. That's terrific, okay? But don't view that guy as your personal demigod. He has flaws and he's a human like the rest of us, okay? The litmus test you want for a guy to model is, you want to be able, if you do meet him in real life, you want him to be able to respect you. And no one's going to respect a fanboy who's coming up to the guy and sucking his dick and all that. I get some emails from guys, and I love the flattery. So, but I want to see guys who are making the changes. That's what I love to see. I want to see, don't get me wrong, I'm a narcissist and I love hearing guys tell me great things, but even more than that, I want to see the guy saying, okay, I made the changes. Thank you, and here's how I applied the stuff that you've been telling me. Instead of just looking at me and saying I'm this great guy and all that. Every single thing, the whole entire idea of my site is, this is stuff that you guys can do. Every single thing on the site is stuff that you can do, and there's nothing stopping you from doing what I'm doing or doing better. Okay, there's nothing stopping you from doing better. If If you see a guy that's doing well, instead of worshiping him, say, I can do that. There's nothing stopping me from doing that. If it's in your area of competence, aim for that guy or aim to do better. Okay? Um, you'd be shocked at the amount you can do when you develop a winner's mindset. Number 5, stop doing things for other people. Okay? Be selfish. Everyone's selfish anyways. They just lie about it. I pursue my self-interest without shame. I don't care. I spend the focus of my life on my business, and the rest of it's on girls and the gym and doing fun things that I want to do. I'm not a martyr, and I don't pretend to be one. Okay? Everyone's selfish. I tell people all the time, no, because I don't really care all that much what they think. I'm not out to please people. Um, if you are going to do something for someone, do it without expecting anything in return. Doing something and expecting them to do something back for you is disgusting. Leave that shit to your mom, and then you get upset and you use shame and guilt and say, how many times has your mom said to you, I do so much for you, I sacrifice so much for you, and you're not grateful, blah, 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 blah. This is a loser trait, guys. If you're going to do something, do it without any idea of a return, okay? Um, if I do something for one of my guys on my website, I don't expect that guy to give me something back, okay? I write an article, I don't expect anything from you guys. I write a book, I don't expect people to buy it just because I'm me. I write the book so that guys can buy it because it's good. If the book's not good, no one's going to buy it, and I don't expect them to, okay? Um, and you shouldn't either. So don't be afraid to be selfish. Tell people you can't meet up because you're working or you're doing whatever you want to do. Doesn't mean you have to be an asshole, but just own what you are. Okay, you're a guy on a mission to success, and anything that's going to get in your way has to be taken out, and it's as simple as that. Number 7, don't take business personally. So you're on your way and you're trying to get things done in business or in sales, and someone doesn't want to buy your product or do business with you, uh, or you're approaching girls, right? You're a sexual salesman. That's what we are as guys. You're approaching girls. Some girl doesn't want to go on a date with you. It doesn't fucking matter. Okay, that's the nature of the game. Sales means hearing no. So don't get all worked up over this shit. Instead of taking this stuff personally, think about how could I do better next time. So you've got a product for your business and it's not selling. Instead of being like, fuck these guys, think, okay, what do I need to do to make this sell? You're talking to girls and you're not getting the response you want. Instead of thinking, fuck this bitch, start thinking, how do I get this response? What do I need to do? How do I need to dress better? How much more weight do I need to put on in terms of muscle? Is my body language right? Don't take that kind of stuff personally. The only stuff you take personally is when someone disrespects your honor, okay? If you're in public and some guy calls you a faggot, that you have to take personally, okay? Some girl politely tells you she has a boyfriend, that's just the nature of the game. Not every girl's gonna come home with you. Or some guy doesn't want to be in business with you, then he just doesn't see the value in your business, okay? See, that means that you need to become more valuable if you want to do business with that type of guy. And that's stuff you have to be able to be objective with, because the world doesn't owe you shit, guys. You gotta prove it. I got the biggest sense of entitlement, the biggest ego of anyone, and I know. But at the same time, I know that I'm only as good as the value I offer. So if other people aren't seeing the value, then instead of thinking, fuck these people, I think, okay, what do I have to do to get myself in a position where I'm more valuable? Okay? Um, Number 8, stop arguing. Arguing is such a massive loser behavior, and the argument actually starts prior to the actual argument. It starts with contradiction. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is stop contradicting people. If some guy tells you, you know, he went out hunting that weekend. I used to have clients that be like, he went hunting or fishing. I would say, oh, cool, how was that? Instead of like, why do you do that? That sounds boring as hell. That's a waste of time. That's what I think. I don't know why guys would go fishing. That's boring as hell to me. But I'm sure as hell not going to tell that to my client because I respect the relationship a lot more than that. If my friend tells me something I don't agree with, I'll just be like, oh, cool. And there's different ways you can approach that. He's seeing some value, he's excited about something, so I respect that a lot more than just shitting something out of my mouth for no reason, and just saying like I disagree. That's a fucking loser behavior, okay? And if you are gonna disagree with someone, there should be a valid reason for it, and then you should do it with tact. Like, okay, I understand what you're saying, but what about this idea? Because if you're not doing that, then you're not showing the respect to that guy. And if I don't respect someone, I'm not going to be friends with them, right? So there's really no point being in an argument, because being in an argument means that you're hanging out with someone and you don't respect them enough to shut your fucking mouth, but you're still wasting your time hanging around someone you don't respect, okay? So it's pointless. And no one wins. I can win any argument, okay? If I'm gonna put a point over, I know I'm right, and I've been smarter than people for the majority of my life. I know I can win. I know I can badger him. I know all the places to trap him. But what do I get out of that? Humiliating some guy for no reason. Um, I treat my friends, the very select people that I have as friends, like gold, okay? And, um, you know, arguing with that guy is not the way to go at the end of the day. Especially don't argue on the internet. That's such fucking loser behavior. Like, I'm shocked at all the internet forums, and a lot of them have posters who have value, and some of these guys are in their 40s and they get involved in these pissing matches with some 22-year-old kid because he said something he didn't like. This is especially true if you have a business. I post on a few forums, and sometimes some guy disagrees with something. I don't even respond to it, because there's absolutely nothing productive that can come out of that. And an argument's just a complete waste of time. The only time you get an argument is if someone publicly disrespects you. And to me, that's not an argument. That's going to escalate. Like, I'm aiming to eviscerate that guy, and I'm not going to be using logic. I'm going to be using derogatory words and stuff. Like, on the rare occasion, every 3 years, someone says something disrespectful in public. I'm going to make that guy pay for it, and I'm going to embarrass him. And it's maybe it might lead to a fight. Then that's obviously a situation you want to avoid, okay? I'm not telling you guys to fight anything, but like, that's the only cases if someone has really disrespected you in public and then you have to stomp on him. But just petty arguments, absolute fucking waste of time, complete loser behavior, okay? Next up, stop expecting people to help you. No one fucking cares about you, okay? That's the truth. Your mom, your girlfriend, maybe 2 or 3 friends, that's it. And chances are they are not in a position to help you. If you're really lucky, you got a friend who's on his way to being a millionaire, and he's a good guy, and he's going to look after you, and he's going to show you how to do it, or maybe he'll cut you in on his business. But that's incredibly rare. I've never had a mentor in my life. I never had a father. Everything you want, you can learn. We live in the greatest age of all time. You've got the internet. You can literally ask any question, and the internet just tells you an answer. Okay, it's unbelievable, because no one's going to help you. Why would anyone help you? Do you guys know how hard it is to be successful? It's extremely hard, and it's hard to even change yourself. let alone take all the time to mentor somebody who, when you get nothing in return. Um, I tell guys that I'm not going to mentor anyone. You can, if you want to learn from me, you can read the stuff on my site. But to mentor someone properly, and I do everything 100%, takes thousands of hours over, 3 to 5 years for something that I would get, I can't say that I would get a ton of value out of that. Um, and in fact, maybe even the kid might be ungrateful. I've had people that I mentored before, and I haven't found anyone who's been really grateful, and I haven't found anyone who listens to the advice that I say. Um, if you do find a guy who's going to mentor you, consider yourself very lucky. Um, but no one owes you anything, okay? Forget about this sense of entitlement. Stop expecting people to help you. There's no reason that anyone's going to give you more than just a small little amount of help. And if you do find a guy who's going to do that, you know, treat him like he walks on water. Your relationship with your mentor, if you find a millionaire who's successful and he's going to help you, that should almost be yes sir, no sir. Okay? That guy is should be the most important priority in your life. I'm not joking. Making that guy happy and continuing to get that advice is the most important relationship in your entire world. Okay? But chances are that's not going to happen. So you can forget about it. Next point. Stop lying to yourself. Okay? I fucking hate mainstream self improvement and self help. I started the site for a reason. Looks matter, status matters, money matters, and these things matter a lot, okay, for your quality of life. And I'm not going to tell you that God and love and family and peace don't matter. These things are important, but you can't pay your bills with prayer, and you can't pick up a girl because you're a good son to your mom. You can't defend yourself against a group of savages because you're a pacifist, okay? Those things are the easy things to do. The hard things to do are, getting in shape, getting a successful business, getting to a point where you have high status so that girls are more attracted to you. That's the hard shit. That's the masculine stuff. The feminine stuff is much more easy, and it's important. Being a nice person is important, but stop lying to yourself and pretending that these other things don't matter. And stop saying that people are superficial, because they care about this stuff. This stuff matters to everyone. We're animals at the end of the day, okay? And we're tribal animals, and all that stuff matters a lot. So stop telling yourself this shit doesn't matter. Instead, say, how do I maximize what I have? How do I get myself to be the best looking I can? How do I get most status I can? How do I get the most money I can? Play the hand that you're dealt, and there's nothing worse than a loser behavior of the guy who says, "Oh, money's not that important to me," or caring about looks too much is superficial. That is absolute bullshit. Okay, this is the same kind of guy who says, "Oh, I don't like club girls; they're too fake." No, you would die to fuck one of those hot club girls. You just can't get them. Okay, stop telling yourself this bullshit, guys. The next point. Don't talk about it, be about it, okay? Don't talk about it, be about it. I don't talk about my mission to anyone because I don't care what they think. Their opinion means nothing to me. If someone asks me what I do, which happens a lot now that I live in Thailand and everyone out here is some kind of a business or a hustle, I'll reluctantly tell them I run a personal development website for men. But I'm not going to sell them on it because I don't care what they think, and I don't want to have that conversation. I want that conversation to be over very quickly. And I don't care what they think because they're not going to give me money and they can't help me with my business. So their opinion on my business is irrelevant. I have 175,000 visitors a month. If they have a website, it is not as big as mine. They are therefore, their business opinion is therefore useless to me. The only guys I would be interested in listening to are guys who are doing better than me. I would listen to every single thing they have to say. But other than that, I don't care. A loser is always going to tell you about the business that he's trying to start or that he's going to start and the success that they're going to have. And he'll talk to you for 30 minutes or he'll talk to you about his business. Or, I had a tech startup and guys would, talk to you for 30 minutes before you can even get a word in. And then you ask him what kind of sales are you doing, and his answer is, oh, that's the thing. We don't have any money coming in right now. All this bullshit, okay? And they need to talk because they don't actually believe in their business. They need to hear themselves pump themselves up, and then they need you to agree with it, okay? Because they don't have the inner confidence to be able to do it on their own. I had people telling me you can't make money from blogging or on the internet. I just tune people out. I'm completely self-sustaining in terms of my faith in myself, okay? So I don't give a shit if some guy disagrees or doesn't think my business is a good idea or whatever. Whereas the guy who just talks and runs his fucking mouth, if you disagree with him, that's a major blow to his self-esteem, and it's a major blow to his faith in himself. So instead of talking about, you're going to have a great business, or you're going to get in shape, or you get a lot of girls, just be about it, okay? People can tell if you're in shape just by looking at you. You don't have to brag about working out. People can tell if you get girls just by the way you walk and the way you talk, okay? It is obvious. It is obvious because it's exuding off you. People can smell if you're a winner or a loser within the first 5 seconds of meeting you, okay? So become that winner. Be about it, and then you don't have to fucking talk about it anymore, all right? Next point. Don't complain and don't explain. This is kind of similar to the last point. Now, it's one thing to vent if you're out with your buddies. I definitely do this. I got a bad temper, so I'll say something like this, this motherfucking thing happens for like 10 seconds, but that's more like, just shooting the shit with your buddies. But real complaining is like the guy who's always negative and he's saying, this can't be done, and the world's out to get him, and things are so fucking hard. No one wants to be around that kind of a loser. And if you have those tendencies, you really, really gotta, keep that shit to yourself and start reprogramming your mind on getting rid of that stuff, okay? And the second part is don't explain. And this is kind of similar to the point above, but don't explain the decisions that you do because you don't owe people an explanation. If you don't want to go to something, someone asks you, you can just say no thank you, right? Pretty crazy, but you can do it. You don't owe people an explanation. People that explain their whole life away are apologizing for their existence, right? Oh, I can't because I have this thing to do, and I would really love to go, but I just can't. I hope you can understand. This is bullshit. Just say, thanks for the offer, but I can't make it. Hope you have a great time. Something like that, right? You don't owe that guy an explanation. You don't owe him an explanation on your business. Similar to the point above, you don't owe him an explanation of why you're going to succeed and why all these things are going to happen. You can just fucking say the thing, right, and be done with it. Complaining, explaining, these are low-level loser behaviors, okay? Next point, don't make fun of yourself. Self-deprecating humor is a disgusting habit. Are you a joke? I don't think you're a joke. So don't talk about yourself as if you're a joke. Self-deprecating humor is the sign of a person who thinks lowly of themselves. And they think so low that they have to diffuse the situation by talking down about themselves. They might have a win, something like that, but they'll slap themselves down because they don't feel good enough about themselves to accept the high and accept the compliments that people are giving. Um, Depending on your culture, this might be part of your culture. If you're an English guy, a lot of English humor is self-deprecating, but it's a terrible habit, I think. And um, you get the behavior from others that you accept, and if you make fun of yourself, you are accepting and allowing other people to do it. Um, I don't think I don't want people to look at me as a target for jokes, so therefore I'm not going to treat myself as a joke. Okay? And if someone thinks that I'm a target for a joke, we're going to have a problem, and I'm going to get up in their face immediately. Okay? And that all comes down to self-esteem and self-respect. And if you want to be respected, then you have to treat yourself with respect, and you have to talk about yourself with respect. Okay? Next point, don't play the victim. Um, Again, there's winners and losers in life, and there's victors and victims. You can read my article on Be a Victor, Not a Victim to get the full depth of that. But for the most people in the world, they do stuff that they don't want to do. They work jobs that they hate so they can provide for themselves and their family. The majority of people are victims. Um, but you don't want to be that guy, okay? And a lot of that starts in refusing to be a victim in any way, shape, or form. You could have had the most horrible shit happen to you in your life. Instead of being defined by that, start viewing that as just some shit that happened that you got over and that made you stronger. Okay? Our culture right now, the culture I come from, North America, has elevated victimhood to a virtue. It's the goddamn Olympics of oppression, of who suffered the most. Oh, I'm black and I'm from a single parent, and so I have to deal with all this racism, blah, 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 bullshit. I come from a single parent household. I grew up poor. That doesn't fucking matter. Okay? That has nothing to do with anything. Um, and I'm not going to let that define me. I'm not going to sit here and complain to you guys. No one wants to hear that shit. You guys don't want to hear from a victim and from a complainer. You guys want to hear from a guy who's got his shit together and who's moved past that and who's stepped over all obstacles instead of letting obstacles step on him. Okay? Um, you know, it's just the only way to go. Sure, okay, people are racist. Sure, if you're black or Native American or Indian or whatever, there's a lot of people who are going to look at you and not like you. But it doesn't matter, right? None of that's stopping you from getting ahead in the world. We live in the greatest time of the greatest opportunity in the history of the world. Anyone can go out and make $1 million. Anyone can make money online. Um, you've got laws protecting you against this stuff, okay? You've got the right to work and the right to earn a living like anyone else. This is unprecedented in the history of the world, okay? You've got more opportunity than anyone else, than your ancestors could ever have dreamed of. And it's all just sitting there right at your fingertips, okay? And, I mean, don't accept this idea of being a victim. Be the victor, okay? Um, Being a victim, these are the kind of guys who say, I don't have any luck but bad luck. And that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. A victor says, that's some shit that happened to me. I moved on. I got another win coming up. I just smashed my goals. You know, that's just shit. Put that shit in your rear view, okay? Whatever it is, whatever happened to you, doesn't fucking matter. Put that shit in your rear view and focus on the future and towards the next thing that you're going to kick ass at, all right? Next point, stop living in a fantasy world. The world is not a happy place. And if you want to see that, look at the janitors of the world. Look at the faces of the wage slaves on the subway on Monday morning. Look at the faces of the old sick people in the hospital. Sure, children are happy, but that's because their parents are doing all the horrible shit, the soul-crushing jobs so that they don't have to. And sure, some places are happier than others, I live in Thailand, and people here are a lot happier than back home in Canada, and the weather's beautiful. But you know, I look at the faces of the subsistence level farmer who's working 12 hours a day to provide cheap cheap food for me to live off. And there's tons of tourists around, living great and thinking Thailand's the greatest place, but they don't look in the eyes of the waiters or the waitresses or the small boy who's trying to sell you flowers at 10 o'clock at night, or the Thai family who lives with 7 kids in a one-bedroom apartment. Um, this is very difficult to be happy in that. Okay, if you believe in that shit, and you believe in Oprah and Eckhart Tolle and all these fucking self-help frauds and liars, um, you're gonna try and think that this world is a happy fantasy place, and it's just fucking not. It's hard for the majority of the people, and it's brutal for most people, let alone people who live in peaceful countries. Just look at Iraq or Syria or any of these other hellholes. And the world's a brutal place, and it's a vicious place, and that's just how it is, okay? And you can't change that, but what you can do is you can carve out a little piece of happiness for yourself and for your loved ones. But these people, I meet a lot of people out here like this who believe in this fucking fantasy world where everyone's going to be singing Kumbaya and world peace, and this shit is never going to happen, guys, okay? So stop believing in these delusions and start looking at life with a clear-eyed reality. When you look at life with a clear-eyed reality, you start to see how things really work, okay? And this is really important if you want to have real-world applicable results. You got to see the real world. You got to see the world how it really exists, okay? Next point. Stop listening to your parents. If you're still reading this article, or you're still listening to this video or listening to the audio version of this, chances are your parents are losers, because you are looking to get this stuff handled by some guy online, me. If your parents were winners, you wouldn't be reading this stuff, most likely. You would have had a great father who's a millionaire, who's a positive guy, and he would show you exactly how to do it, and you had positive programming pumped into you for your whole life. But that guy's 1 in 10,000, okay? 99% of people are losers, and they pump their kids full of loser negative programming, okay? Almost for sure I can tell you guys that your parents are losers. If you weren't one of the top, if you weren't, you would have been one of the top 0.01% of guys who have good programming, okay? And that's very rare. So unless your parents are a massive success and they're happy and they're living fulfilled lives and they're in good shape, stop listening to them, because they don't know the right way. They don't know how to get what you want. You got to start listening to guys, and only listen to guys who have what you want. Unless the guy has what you want, well, forget about them. Whether it's your parents, whether it's your uncle, whether it's anybody. Only listen to people who've done it, okay? Next point. Stop believing in things. If you don't have ownership of that dream, it's not your dream, okay? The guy running your country, your boss, your friend's business, these aren't dreams. So stop believing in them. These aren't your dreams. So stop believing in them. Only believe in your dream, in your version of success where you reap the benefits. Everything else is a fucking lie. Feminism, liberalism, conservatism, whatever the fuck the word is. Everything, all that is fucking worthless, okay? None of that's going to affect you. None of that is going to change your life. These isms are for losers. The team building exercises at your work, the only losers believe in that shit, okay? You need to believe in stuff that is going to affect you personally. I hated working for someone because they're always telling you about the dream and they're selling you on the greatness of their company where they're getting rich. As a salesman, I'd bring in $400,000, $500,000 a year, and I'd get paid peanuts on that. Okay, whereas I'm making this guy rich. That was not my dream. Stop believing in everyone in the world is selling you a dream. Okay, everyone in the world is selling you something. Every product is trying to sell you something to believe in. Stop believing in that shit unless it can affect you directly. Okay, even guys like me, I'm selling you something. Question it, and test it out, and make sure that it works for you. Okay, don't believe anything blindly. Only believe stuff that will directly affect you, that you have direct ownership of. Okay, the politicians, the business owners who write their business books, the business celebrities, the movie stars, the your boss, everyone's selling you bullshit. Okay, you need to stop believing in this stuff and start believing in yourself because that's the only fucking thing that matters. Okay. Next point, stop being a know-it-all. No one fucking cares what you know. Um, being a know-it-all is like the epitome of insecurity. Guys with real success keep it humble because they don't need to prove shit. Like if I meet a new guy, I'm real nice. I'm not talking about all the girls I fucked or like that I'm in good shape or I have a good business or all the other things that I've done, that I was a successful equities trader and I was a successful salesman. No one fucking cares, and you know no one cares about a know-it-all. The guy who has to be right in everything. Let the other guy shine if he has something to talk about. Let the argument go. Um, you know, I hear people all the time just bragging and trying to prove that they know everything about everything. And in reality, you don't. In reality, you just piss people off. In reality, no one fucking cares. Okay? Um, if you're a legitimately smart guy, you don't have to prove it by being a know-it-all. Okay? I know I'm smarter than pretty much everyone that I talk to, and I know that they don't care. And I know that if I shove that in their face, it's just going to make people not like me. Instead, when I meet someone, I'm real nice, I'm real humble. I walk tall, I walk confident, I talk confident. But in speaking to someone, I'm real humble. So you act high value, but you talk to someone one on one from the heart with sincerity. And that's the magical combination. That's what's going to get people to like you. The insecure guy, the know it all, everyone hates this fucking guy. No one wants to be around him. And he's just terribly calibrated to social situations. Um, and lastly, this is sort of like the know-it-all. It's the stop one-upping people. Stop being the guy who won't let your friend have his moment. Let the guy have his moment. Um, when your buddy shows you the picture of the hot girl that he fucked on the weekend, let him enjoy it, even if you don't think that girl's hot. Okay? When guys find out what I do for a living, they always want to brag to me and show me pictures of their girls, and I let them have it. I don't tell them that I can fuck 10 girls in a month off Tinder alone. Out here in Thailand, I can get laid every other day if I wanted to. I'm not joking you. Um, the Thai girls love white guys. I could fuck 20 girls in a month. My first month, I fucked like 12 girls, barely trying. Okay? No one fucking cares. The only time I talk about this stuff is when I'm talking to you. You guys might see my articles on Tinder and stuff like that, but I don't brag about that in real life because I'm just gonna I'll make people jealous. I'll make people think, I'm an asshole. There's no need to one up some guy. If it's again, it comes down to respect. If I'm meeting the guy and I respect him and that's my friend, I'm gonna let him have that. He'll show me the girl, he'll show me a picture, be like, oh, great, man, congratulations, that must have been awesome, something like that. Um, if you're a confident guy, you're confident enough to let your buddy have his moment. Let him tell a story where he's the winner. Let him have his moment in the sun, okay? Instead of being the guy who always has got to come over the top and be better. Um, another example is your man just bought like a new jacket, and it's like a $400 jacket, and he's coming to you with a big smile with the new jacket on, and he asks you, "Hey man, you like this jacket? How much do you think I paid for it?" Right? The jacket's probably like $400. So, if you're a legit confident winner, you're gonna say, "Man, it's a great jacket. What was that, like $500?" He's gonna be like, "No, you wouldn't believe it. It's only 200." If you're a fucking douchebag loser, you're gonna be like, looks like it's about $100, and you're just gonna take the wind out of the sails, right? You know, guys make this mistake all the time, and you take down your whole crew like that. Um, Petty arguments, being a know-it-all, one-upsmanship, contradicting each other. Those are all like loser crews. Okay, I see guys like this all the time. Um, and I know that that's just a bunch of fucking losers. When you're hanging around with a bunch of winners and a winner crew, everything's positive, right? There's no taking someone down. It's just like, this guy's got this going on, this good, and this guy's got this going on, and you're hyping each other up, and you just chill and you're confident, and no one's trying to, go over the top with things. Um, because at the end of the day, that shit just reeks of insecurity. And I know we talk a lot about being an alpha male, but being an alpha male, a real alpha male, is all about what you do. It's not about what you say. People can tell that I'm confident, that I'm a leader, just by the way that I walk and I talk. I don't have to prove that shit all the time on hammering something on top of some guy, right? That's really like low level stuff. So now that we got the loser behaviors out of the way, I want to tell you how to start thinking and start acting like a winner. And really what it comes down to is just one thing, and that is thinking of yourself as a winner. As I said, there's two types of people. There's losers and there's winners, and it all starts in the mind. It's so simple, guys. You could have been losing your whole life, but today you can make the switch. You can flip that switch, and instead of focusing on all the loser shit that you did, start focusing on the wins you had. Maybe they're small, okay? When you were a kid, when you're playing something, you went out to win, okay? You look at kids play, and they'll run a race, and they're fighting to the death for it because they haven't accepted that they're losers yet. The guys who are winners are the guys who kept up that winning mentality since they were a kid. When I was a kid, I was ultra competitive over everything. I had to be the best soccer player, the fastest runner. If I didn't win, I would throw a fucking temper tantrum and I would yell. And I don't yell anymore, and I don't cuss people out, but I kept that mentality of whether it's ping pong or whatever. I want to be the best at it. I want to have the best personal development company in the world, and I will work 20 years if that's what it takes to get me to that level, because I play to win, and that's what you have to do. It's very simple. You got to play to win, and you got to think of yourself as a winner, and you got to re-up that mentality you had as a kid before you got broken down by the world, and you got to go back to that, because if you don't have that mentality, if you don't think you're a winner, you can't win. You can't win accidentally, and you can't win if you're a loser. And if for some accidental reason, in a very rare case, it might happen where you do come out with a win, like a lottery winner, those lottery winners are back to being poor within 3 years, almost always, because nature corrects itself. Nature does not let winners stay winning. Kurt Cobain, great example, famous, all the women in the world, all the fame in the world, all the money in the world, but he thought of himself as a loser. I was growing up, I was 12, 13, impressionable, and he was the guy that we looked up to. And this guy fucking killed himself. And he killed himself with a wife, and a young daughter. Like, just unbelievable, right? And it was all because he had all these things and he felt worthless and he felt like he didn't deserve them and he couldn't take it anymore. So he killed himself. Fucking pathetic, right? But that's what happens to losers when, through some magical way that they come out with a win, they make sure that they correct it. They make sure that they come out to being a loser. You can get great with girls, but if you feel like you're a loser, you're always going to feel like that girl's going to leave you and you're going to get jealous and you're going to be insecure and all these other things. You got to flip the switch, okay? You got to flip the switch and you got to start talking yourself positively that you're a winner, and you got to focus on your wins instead of your losses. And the wins could be small. It could be like, I went to the gym today. Every, 3 days this week, I did what I was going to do. Okay, I registered my company. I'm on my way to getting this business together. And the longer you've been losing, the harder it's going to be to turn that ship around. But you got to do it, and you got to make that switch in your mind that you are a winner. And for me, it's real easy. If I get knocked down, which happens, I don't stay down for very long because I've been doing it for so long and the momentum's so strong. But for those of you guys who are really trying to turn that ship around, like a big ocean liner turner, can take a day to turn all the way around. It can be very slow, but you just got to start pumping that shit into your head. No, it's okay. I'm a winner. I'm going to focus on the win. I did, I went to the gym today. I'm good. I'm okay. I'm on my way to success, instead of, I'm a faggot, I'm a loser, I'm never going to accomplish anything. You are what you tell yourself. You are the way you talk to yourself. You are who you think you are. So you have to start thinking of yourself in a positive light. You have to start thinking of yourself as the guy who's going to get what he wants. You have to start thinking of yourself of that winner. Otherwise, you're going to be a loser. Okay? It's very simple. That's where everything starts. You cannot have all the things that you want unless you think you're a winner. Okay? And the greatest mystery, the greatest trick is that all the guys in the world who got it, they had that sense of entitlement. That's where it started. They had that sense of being a winner. As a 12, 13-year-old, Michael Jordan was thinking he was going to be the best basketball player. Elon Musk was thinking he was going to change the world. Whoever it is, he's going to think that he's going to win at something. Okay? And it sounds simple. The entire world could think you're a loser, but it doesn't matter, because you create your own reality. It's what you think that is what matters. So you could flip that switch and become a winner, and you could die tomorrow before you have any wins, but you still died a winner because you're the creator of your own reality. No one else creates your reality, and if you become strong enough to block out all their fucking loser thoughts and all these negative thoughts, then you become that winner. Okay? It all starts in your mind, and you gotta flip that switch over. Once you flip that switch over, everything changes. Okay? And the second part of that is, now that you flip the switch, you gotta have accurate thinking. Okay? So a winner has two things. A winner thinks they're a winner, and a winner has accurate thinking. When you read Arnold Schwarzenegger's biography, he talks about he knew he always had greatness in him, and he tried to be a soccer player, but he realized he wasn't fast enough, or he's too big. He tried to be a swimmer, but he realized it wasn't going to happen. But when he started lifting weights, he started growing very quickly. He was way ahead of the pack. So he said, this is something that I can see. He used accurate thinking. Okay, you got to be able to use accurate thinking. For my site, I know I'm a good writer. I know I can speak well. I know I can present well. And I know I have expertise in dating and fitness, and I know in entrepreneurship, and I know I have all kinds of expertise that no one else has, and I know I can break that shit down in extremely simple concepts. I know I have breadth and depth across history, politics, psychology, finance, and I have those unique skill sets that very few people have. So I know that I can excel in this particular direction. If I'm trying to be a professional NBA player, is never gonna fucking happen. Okay? So you got to use accurate thinking and pick where you're going to excel. Um, if you're a young guy trying to be a rapper, you need to be the best rapper. You need to be able to go to a rap battle and destroy everyone, like Eminem, right? Eminem pursued rap success wholeheartedly, but he's only able to do that because he had the natural talent. He probably wouldn't have pursued that area if he couldn't come in a battle rap and just fucking slay everyone, destroy everyone. He knew he was better than everyone. He had the talent for it. Um, you know, you can look at, anybody, and it's like that. You gotta have the accurate thinking and pick um, where you can excel. Okay. Um, you know, if you're a super smart guy with a high IQ, then you can do programming, and that's where you're going to kick ass. If you're a charming guy who can talk and you've got confidence, then you want to go into sales and you want to have a sales-based business. That's an area where I was able to excel because I went after where my natural talents were. So that's the second part, okay? Think you're a winner, have accurate thinking, and work like a fucking dog. That's part three. So if you really want something, everyone talks about working hard and not working smart. It's not, that's bullshit. You gotta outwork everyone. You gotta assume that the competition's working hard and you gotta work harder than them. So I get emails from guys all the time asking me, how do I get the motivation to do something? Why can't I get this done? Why can't I have, because you're not fucking serious, right? When you're serious, you're gonna work 12 hours a day, 10, 12 hours a day, rain, sleet, or snow. You're going to do it because you are fucking dedicated to winning, and it's in your head every single day um, to win. And you're trying to get a win every single day. Every single day, I'm trying to get a win. Whether it's write a new article, whether it's write a new chapter for my next book, whether it's finish a particular back end project. I just finished up a site speed project that took me forever. I'm always doing something to get that win today, and I have everything in my task list, and I know what needs to be done for that day. And at the end of the day, I can relax, I can reward myself with a nice dinner because I got those wins. So, you got to get those wins every day, and to get those wins every day, you got to work like a fucking dog. So those are the 3 points about being a winner. Okay? Start thinking you're a winner, have accurate thinking about what you are trying to achieve, and work like a fucking dog. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I wish you all the best.